Hey there guys, Jack Barnwell. We are back on site here in Leland on the river at this epic project we've been working on through the spring and summer now. It is this close to finish and it looks unbelievably sweet. Wanted to take you guys through while I'm painting some things out, getting some things ready for this finish week here coming up for the contractors. So this one's really epic. Let's dive in. All right, so we are up here in Leland, Michigan, and many of you may remember we did a video here in the winter time and we visited the crew that was building this one out for me and everything from Twin Bay Landscaping, bunch of studs by the way, and they were here in the winter. It was cold, it was gnarly, they were building and doing all this stonework and everything under vinyl or visqueen plastic tarps and stuff, trying to stay warm and trying to get ahead of the 8 ball because we had a huge amount of work to do this spring and had to really push to get this one as far as we have now. And we're on schedule and looking really good. But here we are in the driveway and I'm just painting out right now a lot of the lines that will divide the gravel driveway, which will be scraped down and finished with a really beautiful finished gravel. And then there's a buffer or a border of mowed lawn around the driveway that transitions and fades into our bermed meadows. So we have all these trees and stuff that have just recently been planted. They're all on drip irrigation. We also have rotor and spray irrigation and stuff throughout this. I mean, the whole property is irrigated really well, but all these meadows will really lush out and fill in with this beautiful native grass and wildflower mix for all these berms as we roll through here. So all of this will feel like we're just in this really cool forested meadow in no time. But as you're driving into the property, you see right away we've got a lot of trees planted, and speckled all over through here. And these guys are just getting going. But in a year or two, they'll mature out and fill out and look like they've just been here forever. We've got some beautiful birch, some spring grove, thuja, arborvitae, a lot of different spruce and pine, maple, all trees that you'd find here in the forest right around Leland naturally. Because the idea is that we really wanted this to look like it's kind of been here forever. And so after a couple years, the house will look like it's just right in the forest here. All of our shrubs we're using, dogwood, native bush honeysuckle, girvella, a lot of really great native shrubs, trying to naturalize this and make sure that there's not a tremendous amount of maintenance. So all the beds as they're laid out and everything right now, we've got all the trees and shrubs in, but now we're gonna start coming in and planting out a lot of ground covers. So all these open areas will get filled in with more and more ground cover so that eventually mosses, ground covers fill these spaces. We still have some perennials and stuff, some drifts of some different things and ferns to put in a few spots here and there. But we're really filling out all these little nooks and crannies of the flagstone and everything get planted out so that in time, this whole property will just really lush out, fill out, and not require a lot of maintenance. For the first year or two, there'll be a little bit of fine tuning, some weeding to make sure the property's well on its way. But after that, the idea is that it really, with a good spring cleanup, really takes care of itself. So here we've got this beautiful big circle drive, and off of the circle drive, every little pathway and the driveway are all this flagstone look with a planted joint. So it's really cool, like garden feel all the way around the circle drive. And even the front door is just like a little walkway through the garden. Really stunning. One of my favorite elements and aspects of this property is how you can look right through this breezeway, right through the whole entire house to the river beyond. It's just such a cool little view. So we kept the planting really low and just picked up that same planting on the other side of the glass. Another cool feature I wanted to point out here before we go out back is even though we picked up that flagstone look with the planted joint here in front of the drive, these are actually 8-inch thick, massive, massive outcrops of stone, really, really dense limestone. We will fill this and plant this joint, but this can take the vehicle traffic and it'll be super, super tough, even though it'll have the same finished look as this nice little, pedestrian walkway up to the front door. So as you can see out here, there's still some areas that we haven't planted in. This still has a ground cover blend that has to be planted into here. But all these shapes are intentional. This will be a really beautiful blend of ground cover. And then all these different ground covers, actually I have a recipe on the plan that every ground cover blend gets a bulb planting of a different drift or a different style of bulb that gets planted in the fall. So there's a really cool little wisp or expression of a type of bulb, or narcissus, or grape hyacinth, or scillas, or galanthus, all these really pretty spring flowering bulbs that'll be coming up throughout here. And then as they fade in the summer, these ground covers will come and fill and cover them right up. So all the ferns are starting to do their thing and fill out. Love that. This is really getting lush. You can see all my different paint here, painting out some of these different shapes so the guys can come in here, and as we're laying this out, they know what different plants and different ground covers are going where. This is a really, really cool carex called Silver Scepter. We planted these as just little plugs of this awesome little sedge there, and that will puff out and fill out. They get like, in this zone here, they used to get about 14, 16 inches tall. So this will be a solid mass of that. And this whole river effect of that same look of that variegated grass just flowing on down to the water. It's just super pretty. Really love the way all this space has turned out. As you guys remember in that first video, this is where we were underneath that plastic and the guys were building all this out. And now here we have, the homeowners are already using it. They got their fun toys out here and stuff. This is a cool feature I had to show you guys. The outdoor shower with a drain cut into the stone. So underneath here is a drain. All that water pitches right down and just completely disappears right there. Oh, of course, I had the wrong one on. Soak myself. Look at that. Outdoor shower. So cool. So cool. That was pointed right at me on purpose, wasn't it? Yes. Anyway. But all these joints, so this joint work here is finished out with a polymeric gator dust. So this is really, really nice and hard there. But then as you can see, about 1 foot or 16 inches from the edge, we haven't put any of that dust in there. And that's because we're gonna plant all these little edges and details with moss. So all of this patio will soften in as we plant all these little nooks and crannies as we go. So we're getting close, but we still have a lot of little details and a little ways to go here with all the little fine finesse work. The lighting still hasn't been installed. We've got it all ordered. So the lighting will be going in soon, but we are certainly getting close. All of these areas outside, on the buffer zone of the property have been planted with seed blends. We used a whole array of different seed blends from Michigan Wildflower Seed. It's a local company here in Michigan that makes really great seed blends, all native seed blends. They're just awesome. And so we've got a lot of native grasses, native kind of, you know, wetland edge wildflower blends that will just, you know, blend out perfectly here. The surround sound guys have just started placing some of these speakers. These will be sunk in place. They just laid these out, but that'll all be pitched in there for surround sound around the fire pit. So many cool features to show you guys. I'm sorry, I get a little bit excited, but this is a Brio fire pit. It's a smokeless fire pit there from Brio. Way cool company, made in Pennsylvania. And this fire pit, we took one of the Brio fire pits and surrounded it with this gorgeous, gorgeous chiseled Fond du Lac silver stone. So that's all chiseled and cut right here on site, hand chiseled. And we left this big, big air gap to make sure that the Brio can still suck air in and draw like it's supposed to. But that Brio is inside here. We can still pull it right out, but it's inside this really cool custom stone surround that we made right here on site. Big time kudos to the guys from Twin Bay Landscaping, crushers, doing such fine work on this one. I dream it up, they scheme it up. Total studs. It's been really awesome working with them. This whole little space right here can be seen from so many different rooms in the house, and we've got to get that all finished out still with the ground cover plantings and mosses. That'll be a whole moss river that goes up into there, and then some dainty little fairy lights that light up that stump and stuff. So at night, this is gonna be a super, super magical little space flowing through there. Really starting to come together, this one. Getting there, getting there. This is an outdoor shuffleboard table, little sporting location here. The shuffleboard where you can, you know, throw the little puck discs down and play outside here. Very, very cool little space that we built really just for this. But when the shuffleboard table is not here, they've got some Adirondack chairs that sit down here and look out at the water, and really neat little nook for hanging out. Love this outdoor sculpture right here and how it sits in this little courtyard space. Super, super beautiful. And again, planted joint. In time, all these joints will be filled to be very, very softened up. Super, super green space. Copper gutters, everything looking quite stunning, finished off. This is a fence that we designed custom for this, and gates that we built right here on site. Look at this cool latch. The way that works. Sometimes, I mean, really most of the time on a project like this, you got to site design, site build everything, because you know, everything just has to be so custom. This is a little dog run area. Works out really well for their small little dogs that they have. We've got a fence system that's going around these utilities, hide them a little bit better. So yeah, we've got some finesse to do here and there. A little bit of fine tuning, some details going on, but really looking sweet. Another one of those custom gates. Looks just like a split rail cedar fence, which it is, but we integrated stainless steel cabling and some much more heavy duty turnbuckles and stuff to make this thing really, really heavy duty, but you don't see them at all. Pretty slick. All this bare ground through here will all be that about knee-high meadow mix planting. Oh, and another super cool feature I gotta show you guys underneath here. So this product is really cool too. This is actually shredded newspaper that's like a hydroseed blend called pen mulch, P-E-N-N. And we seed, and then this pen mulch covers it up, and when it fills up and gets wet with water, it really plumps up and holds moisture, and seed takes really quickly. But as you can see underneath it here, see this plastic grid product there underneath it? So once the seed takes, you'll never see that that's underneath here at all. It'll just be a mowed little lawn area. and we have 2 more of those. It's called Perma Base, and it's really, really strong. It's a hexagonal pattern that is laid over top of 12 inches of really, really strong compacted gravel. And so secretly, this can handle a full-size dump truck. So if they need to, they can park cars here, drive into this kind of hidden garage area, and it's super, super strong. But it'll look like just a little nice grassy area. We've used the same product right over here where this little Mini Cooper is actually parked right now. And here you can see we haven't seeded this area yet. So you see the product before it gets a little layer of topsoil over top and gets seeded. But here's that same product. And just the other day, we drove a full-size dump truck full of soil back on it and dumped into here to get some more soil spread into here and get some of these trees and stuff delivered and everything over here, because we just got all these trees planted a couple days ago. But we had a full-size dump truck on this. Didn't indent in or break or crack or anything. It's really an amazing product. And then we'll be able to just mow this. It'll just be a mowed lawn. You'll never know it's here, but it, you know, serves the purpose of a additional parking area if they have guests or anything like that here. Works really, really nice. So this will be an additional little parking space with that Perma Base underneath, that space over there. And then outside the gate there, we have another one so that if somebody pulls in accidentally and they don't realize there's a gate here and this is private property and they're not supposed to be here, they can back out onto that lawn and drive away without tearing up the lawn or anything, or sinking in. If it's really wet, they won't sink in or anything. So we're gonna have another big kind of 3-point turn area of lawn out there with that Perma Base underneath. Hey, so another really cool little feature we wanted to be sure to point out to you guys. This really awesome mossy stump that's totally featured here in the landscape actually hides the well. So this guy is easily removable, and underneath here, see that PVC pipe coming up? This is actually hollowed out. We carved out and hollowed this out with a chainsaw, and it sits right over top of the well. So that this is just removed, taken off. If the guys ever have to, remove the well pump or service the well at all, it's underneath here. So taking what would normally be sort of an eyesore that was sitting right out here, hiding that, tucking it right into the landscape, super sweet. A lot going on this one. I know, it's really, really turning out sweet though. I'm super excited about it. I've got a little more painting out to do, a little bit more to get done so that this next week we can really crush it and get to the home stretch here on this one. As it lushes out and fills in a little later this season, like this fall probably, we'll show you guys through what it really looks like all lushed out and filled out. This one's really, really one of my prouder landscape designs that I've ever had a hand in from the very, very beginning. Seeing it through all the way to the end is quite an honor. We got a boogie on though, on down the road and check in on another project. And so we better get going and call it a night. See you guys again soon in another video. Stay tuned, subscribe and click that bell and all that so you get notified when we post awesome videos of awesome projects, and we'll keep you guys inspired, keep you guys in the loop. Cheers.